On Italy, the runners from Australia making some big circles, followed by an Italian strong, leading to a slightly separate engagement, ending up in some tussles and some private skirmishes. This is the Italian readjusting might. Yes, and a fantastic takedown by that Australian to the Italian who was not paying attention. Another Italian taken down, but it ends up with this Australian being cornered. Now the numerical advantage is for the Australians, but if they keep fighting the way they're fighting, they might be able to seal every victory by catching their opposition off guard.
This is very close though, a lot of energy and resilience coming through from the Italian team, still charging, coming right off the list to charge against the Australian fighter.
Let's see if they do the iconic koala.
And they shift off, like great use by the Italian fighter. Very smart use of the bodies, and that's another one.
To this Australian versus the Italians. The Australians, two of them versus the Italian. This Italian, big burly man, could definitely do something. Seeing some work here in hammering at those legs. Got to be careful the Italian doesn't turn his leg in a way that his tendon might get hit. Some solid shots to the head. Fortunately, his head is not free enough to really rattle, which is what you need. Nearly taking down the other Australian. Very good work by the Italian there. This Australian should be hitting, yes, so those muscles in the back of the leg, hammering it, weakening that Italian. You can see him wanting to drop. Italian teammates giving advice to the Italian, and he's doing his best to try to defend himself with the shield, but not enough. He has no link. They on the kick coming out like a donkey fed up with being smacked. He's got no grip, or I think now he may have some grip on the edge of the list. Hoping to take down both Australians in one go, but it is not going to be his day.
They're going to be looking for some big strikes here. I hope you can see the fatigue setting in at this point. Lots of support though coming from the Australians. You can see the Italian trying to move away, break away from this.
He needs to get a clear.
He's got to get a new weapon there. I think he lost it.
Very smart in making sure that he didn't stay engaging there and got that
shots
distance.
There coming from the Italian.
Fortunately, not enough to turn the tides as it is too. Holding on, hoping to bring them both down.
That's some great work there.
Fantastic leg trip by the Australians, and unfortunately, the Italian could not hold on to that. Now we'll be able to cross to the belt to make a bit of a difference. Some big Italians grappling, as you can see, behind.
Look at the size of that Italian taking. They both go down there. Very unfortunate. It was a great move for the Italian.
These nice balanced fights. I think actually right now we may have a 3-2 fight. Oh no, it's a 3 versus 3 fight.
3 versus 3. The Italian's taken down the Australian. They're jumping on the Australian opponent.
Trying to get that height advantage to him, but hooking onto the list is giving him the ability to withstand that the weight of that Italian. He needs to make sure that he can shift him off. The runners need to get out and free themselves. You can see Adam with the
already they've broken
shield.
away there, and I think the Italian needs to keep after him, otherwise he'll be able to push him over, and the Australian's gone down.
Adam trying to do his best to attack the Italian from the side.
And there's two more guns. It's gone down to 2 versus 1, and one Italian standing.
Very unfortunate for the Australian team. Played in one of the previous rounds.
That's right.
Now we can see the Australians kicking off.
Oh, look at the charge there from the Australian.
Wasn't enough to down him.
Running headbutt. Amazing work there from Eric. You can see that. Look at the speed and resilience of this fighter.
Eric now running
Trying to
offside.
the corners. That's big stuff. That they've both gone down at the same time, however, and they need to be very aware of where these attacks are coming from.
Seems to be only 2 fighters down. Oh, sorry, 1 fighter down from each team. There's a bit of a down there. At least one Italian. Yeah, the advantage is in the numbers for the Australians now.
However, he's going to be pushed off now.
Well, apparently someone is. It's in some intense work just off screen. There, we can now see that it is in fact actually two Australian fighters. We have Eric and what might be, if I can see the shield.
Poor Eric being stuck in these epic battles once again, right to the wire. However,
that lower center of gravity will help him.
Well, this is true, and I think he might be able to break out of that. Strikes being dealt. He's in a bit of trouble here, but he is holding on. My goodness, he's going to need to.
This is tight. Obviously, fantastic teamwork. The Australians always look out for each other.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that they're.
But look how he's almost pulling down that Australian. All the weight is on top of poor Eric.
If Eric can only try and shift that weight, and maybe pick up a leg and shift that weight, it's very, very hard to say though, because once you're in that situation, any movement can be a bit of a sacrifice.
But even the Italian
get him off. Get him off. Do not add him. Do not add to that weight.
Oh! They've taken him down. It's a victory for Italy. Charging people. That charging headbutt, by the way, that we saw earlier, that was
Incredible.
amazing.
Now we see the it is intense here. Again, Eric coming out flying, but he might get caught off guard.
Oh, and he's caught off guard. Very dangerous mistake there from the Australians.
One Australian went down.
Oh, I think he's going to regret that. You can see the frustration of that Australian there, slamming his fist to get into the list. But it was very, very careless of him, has to be said.
These running Spaniards are definitely changing the game. Eric are getting two on him now. They realise that they've got to help take him out.
Oh, I think the Spanish
He's lazily being kicked out. He needs to get some hook onto the list. Still holding his own, amazingly so. Getting pushed into the corner, off screen, and Eric has now gone down. Now it is a 5-2-2 battle, and unfortunately these Australians are going to find themselves.
I think it's going to be a formality now for Spain. I'm not sure the Australians will be able to withstand this. They've got the entire Spanish team against them. We need to pull them away from the list for a start.
I believe if they can notice what they're doing, take the knee. Oh, actually, there looks to be a third Australian stuck behind all of this.
I didn't even see him.
He's making sure that he's staying as inside as possible.
My goodness. That's amazing resilience there from the Aussies. But
he needs to either try and stand up
or
push his way in, because he's going to get pushed outside.
Yeah, that's if the Spanish get their weight behind the fighter.
Oh,
it's a Spaniard down!
Fantastic work there. Let's see if he can re-engage and try to make... one of the Australians has gone down now, pushed outside of the list.
He's out there, so it is
now a 4 versus
against 2.
But at least one of the Australians is down. If he can quickly dispatch one or two of them, not wait there, he can't put him against the list.
Unfortunately, he's got a teammate helping him there.
Now it's a 4-1.
And it's called.
Fantastic work by the Australians.
However,
the Australians moving around the side, hoping to obviously catch them off guard.
They've got to be careful of those central runs, though. Eric making a charge for it, can't quite connect it.
Oh, 2 down in the centre.
2 down in the centre.
Eric
holding down, and he's been thrown down himself. Some assistance coming from the other Australian, however.
It is still
they need to take that one down as soon as possible.
That's a
good run. He's decided to sacrifice, and he has not taken...
Oh, very touchy. The marshals seem to have let him go.
The marshals let him have it, and it appears that we're now down to, is it 2 against 1? I can't see.
2 against 1, 2 against 1. It seems to be unfortunate for that Australian.
It's going to be difficult now.
His only hope is taking down the fighter that is grappling in front of him.
The Spanish will want to capitalise on this. They've got to start working. You can see that Spaniard is going for the sacrifice, trying to hold down that Australian there.
He's losing his legs underneath him, but he's still planning to get down. Their polearm needs to get out and start pushing them away. He needs to start using their face grills.
I don't think the Spanish have got hold of that strategy of changing their weapon.
No, but that being said, this Australian is putting a polearm behind him.
Yep.
He can't let himself go. He needs to really push it forward.
And that's right.
He's feeling the pain, but he's got to push through. He's got to change something up here.
No, I think he might have submitted there.
He needs to get that helmet off. He's pushed himself really hard. It's going to be interesting to see.
He's been injured there. There were a lot of strikes to the hand of that Australian, but he appears to have some problem with his helmet. I'm not sure if there's maybe the chin strap cut into him. I hope he's okay.